Okay, and I think I'm live, so that's cool. Live again, live again. Here we are, we're live. All right. I'm learning all kinds of new things every day. Let's see. Go live. And it will mirror my video. All right. All the things. Rainbow Pickle, hello. How are you? And Guilty Angel has arrived. Yay! It's so good to see you guys. What's going on? How are you? Angela will be with us momentarily. She's managing all the Oh, you're visiting your sister in Texas. Well, I hope you're having a great time. That's pretty awesome. Which part of Texas, Guilty Angel? What's going on TikTok? I don't know if somebody showed up yet, but if you did, what's up? I've only driven through Texas like 4 times, and I was like, wow, Texas is like as big as Canada. Erica's here. Hello. So good to see you. Very excited to see you. Been waiting for it all day. Angela's coming in. I hate my hat already. I don't know why these hats aren't working for me. Is this better? Is that better? Should I do that? Delicate has arrived. Yay!
What was it you wanted to say the other day?
What was it that I wanted to say?
Delicate to show up before you said something. I can't remember what it was.
It was probably Taylor Swift related then.
Yeah, probably.
It was probably because I had neglected to talk about, but wanted to, way back, like whatever it was, a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, I saw that Taylor Swift was in Ohio. And I know that wasn't her first time in Ohio with Travis, but it's just feeling a lot more, more and more like, yeah, like
you have feelings about it?
I'm happy for them, they're really happy together, obviously. And, it just feels more and more like he's like, hey, all right, listen, I think it's time that I miss you. I got to introduce you to Timmy Two Toes, And, he's like, who's Timmy Two Toes? Yeah, I grew up with him, and we had a little axe accident there, and he's got 2 toes. Just 2 toes. He's Jimmy Two Toes. Can still run though, faster than any of us. He was supposed to be with me on the Chiefs.
If Travis Kelce, right? It's the Travis, not the Jason?
It's the Travis, not the Jason.
Okay. If Travis Kelce has a friend who they all call Jimmy Two Toes,
yes.
Do you think that that's something that Taylor Swift could call him?
Jimmy Two Toes?
Or do you think
Timmy Two Toes?
Timmy Two Toes. Do you think that she has to get more familiar? Do you think that he's we call him Timmy Two Toes, but don't tell him I said that because he'll be really embarrassed that I told you that. Don't
tell him I said that. I think I might have to increase your exposure. I'll be right back.
Don't. I'd rather be in the dark.
That's hilarious.
Today.
It doesn't work.
Of all days.
All right, thanks. There, Angela. There, much brighter.
Yeah.
Hello. Timmy Two Toes. He was a good guy, though, you know what I mean? But he missed. And now he's got 2 toes.
It was an axe accident?
Yeah, it was an axe accident.
An accident.
He was an accident. He was chopping wood for the family. For not even his own family. For his neighbor's family. Back when he had 10 toes.
And on that fateful winter day.
Timmy Two Toes. Jenna has arrived on TikTok. Hello, hi. Jenna. I'm so excited that you're here, and
hello.
So excited to see you. I'm as excited as you. This is my all caps. It really is.
I should have.
No, you've seen my all caps. I can't fool you. You know my all caps as well as anybody. Oh my goodness. So
I was thinking how funny it would be if you were greeting people and then all of a sudden there was one name that you greeted like Seinfeld greets Newman.
Oh. Are we like Norm kind of thing?
No, not like Norm.
I don't know anything about Seinfeld.
Oh, he had a neighbor, Newman, who he hated.
Well, so I know the basics.
You go, hello.
I remember Newman.
Hello,
Newman wasn't he a post guy or something?
Yeah, whatever. That's the beginning of a joke. It didn't work.
Danielle's here. Hi, Danielle.
I have so many things to read for us today.
Okay, well, let's get to it. Well, before we do, should we just get right into like quickly? Let's review what we watched real quick, and then we'll get into the.
Is Cosmic Urgency here?
Cosmic Urgency's here.
Okay. Because that's who bid us to do the watching.
Cosmic Urgency just dropped a spoiler. He said, "I'm almost done reading Misery. It's disturbing how she just keeps chopping stuff off." Yeah, it is.
But she does she? In the book?
No, in the book, not in the movie. In the movie, she hobbles. He hobbles her by breaking his ankles. In the fucking thing, that shit comes off with an axe.
Yeah,
that was like a big difference.
It was a big difference.
And
are we spoiling?
It was so bad. Like you can, it's spoiling. It's stinky. It stinks.
You know what's
it's so
interesting is
spoiled.
that for some reason I had forgotten the chopping because I was remembering the smell description.
Oh. I had forgotten about that.
Did she chop or did she just?
He just nailed all of it, man. That book, man. Well, I'm so glad that you're being disturbed because that is the point.
It's a really, really great book for that.
I love that book. It is disturbing. It never left me. I'm surprised I've only read it once since I love it.
Oh, Lord. Did you see Alyssa's comment?
So much. What?
Got home from work after working a 26-hour shift. Severely understaffed. Trump's bill ain't gonna help.
Oh, Big Beautiful Bill.
Oh, also, did you see Popcorn Planet commented on one of your shorts?
I'm so sorry I'm sorry that that's happening. That sucks, man. No, I didn't. He did? What did he say? He said something like,
did you see he commented?
you betrayed me or something?
Oh, I don't know.
My son, you have betrayed me. I don't care what that guy has to say.
He's acting like he's not like farming all of this to enrich himself. Like he's crowdfunding. He just showed up at a tour event with Sassy Dave Navarro. You know, he's on a tour and he's like hanging out with all of the Baldoni accounts.
They're just losers. They're just like they just stand there in the slop of their own defeat.
I don't know that it's like loserdom. I feel like there's this whole cynical economy where these people are just like haters and they make a living out of it.
Listen, if
I guess that's like I'm being a hater of them right now, so I can't really.
Well, you're not making a living from it, and you're also,
I just don't understand how people it's not sincere, and it just seems really like damaging.
Listen, if that's how they want to live their lives, if this is their ideal life, shilling lies about a woman they don't even know, trying to destroy her life so that they can gain recognition and money, if that's their idea.
Yeah, and then yucking it up when we call them out for being shitty.
Yeah, those people can go to hell. That's how I feel about them. They can just go to fucking hell because they're not, they're just not the kind of people I want to be associated with in any way whatsoever. And I just find them despicable and horrible. And what they do is, it deserves to be called out for what it is. It's absolute garbage.
I mean, I understand that like being a cynical gossip does sort of like release its own flavor of dopamine. I understand why that makes people interested. Like getting a rise out of people is kind of gratifying if you have like a really thin expression of your life, I think
don't forget to like the YouTube, and don't forget to like us over on all the platforms, please. Push the buttons, they're always helpful. I think that
it's kind of a shallow form of entertainment, if you ask me. I don't know. Like,
it's not just a shallow form of entertainment; it's a shallow form to make. It's like low life money. Here's the thing, I remember somebody showed up. I actually had a really bad reaction to it live. I had a bad reaction to it. I didn't even watch that rewatch that live because I felt so horrible afterward. But somebody called me sad because they were like, here you are talking shit about Andy Signor, and you're the same thing. You're a gossip. sad. They said one word, and that one word got me right to the bones. Like I was like, sad, eh? I was really upset about it.
You're like, not sad, mad.
Well, because I don't really want to associate myself, or I don't see myself in that way whatsoever. I'm an artist. I don't really see myself in this way. And I was like, wow, I guess I could be being perceived as this, and it could be legitimately, a legitimate perception of me. But there's a whole bunch of differences. And it starts with me. My curiosity in this is about the wrongs that have happened to me personally and the things that I've had to deal with from all of that, and their similarity and the similarities to this case. So that's the main thing. I don't know. I'm about to go off on too long a tangent, I think, but
go ahead.
It's okay. Let's move on. Cosmic Urgency's here. Let's get to what we're talking about. First of all, so we watched the Lena Dunham new Too Much. It's called Too Much. Angela took a picture of my book next to the title, Too Much. Too real, too much. Too late? I don't know.
Too late? Why?
Well, it's just my name now. I can't. It's been stolen.
Your name has been stolen.
It hasn't been stolen, but
I know what you're talking about. Oh.
By the cosmos.
Oh, your title, Too Real.
And Too Much is just too close. That's okay, man. Netflix was never going to buy my shit anyway, were they? Too far. That's funny.
I don't know. I think that there's room for everybody,
We watched the first 2 episodes.
The word combos with the word two. It's it's not pie, Dale. If somebody has some, it doesn't give less to you. You know what I mean? You can have all of those.
It's kind of pie. It's a little bit like pie.
It's not pie.
It's a lot like pie.
There's some for everyone, is what I'm saying.
Pie for people who don't even eat pie. All right, listen. We watched Lena Dunham's new show. We watched the first 2 episodes. We watched the pilot episode, and it pretty much was horrible. I do have some notes. They're in the other room.
Do you want me to get them for you?
No. Here's the thing about Lena Dunham's pilot. It's as if I don't think she has as strong a writing room as she had, or writer's room as she had on Girls straight out of the gate. I don't know if it's because she's getting more latitude, or if it's because she just hasn't surrounded herself with the kind of writers, the kind of caliber of writers that she had on her first run. But that pilot was poorly written overall for me.
Can you be more specific?
I felt like there was too much exposition, and really like the worst kind of exposition, the kind of exposition I really hate, like the kind of exposition, remember last year when I said da-da-da-da? Yeah, I remember that. Of course I remember that. Everyone was there. Like it was like that kind of exposition. And it happened at least on 2 occasions that I can't remember the specifics, but it happened at least two occasions, and it wasn't great. And it was also, it felt rather amateurish, if I'm being honest about it.
I liked it more than you did. I didn't think it was terrible.
I got to my likes.
Oh, okay.
Hold your tongue on that.
And I will just tell you about my criticisms of it. There's a protagonist, right? A female protagonist. She's a young woman. She's trying to navigate life. Everything's changing. Everything's weird.
I did want to add one more
water,
thing.
the whole thing. A main theme for this character is that she's messy, but she owns it instead of allowing people to criticize her for being messy, because life is messy, right? I like that too. But one thing that she did in her opening in the pilot was that she had her character do a break and entering.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't need my protagonist in a story to be likable. Like, I definitely reject that. There's a lot of really unlikable characters that I have absolutely adored in series that I've watched. But why is she doing avoidable, unnecessary crimes? Like, that makes her very unlikable. Is she so unstable that she's going to do a breaking and entering?
It was a terrible beginning to a pilot. She's also shouting madly throughout almost the entire pilot. And a lot of it
escalates really fast into shouting.
And a lot of it just wasn't entertaining for me at all. And I felt like the character had a really bad start, just overall a bad start. The pilot oddly made me feel more sympathy toward Lena Dunham. I think she's been. I mean, I know that she's accused of being racist, and if that's true, you know, that's just a level of egregious that, you know, I'm surprised anyone would want to associate with if it's known and true, because I loathe racism that much. Really, I do. So it's like in that realm of unforgivable, but it is redeemable if you can conform or reform to.
I didn't see any specifics on that allegation too, so I don't even know what she said. It could have just been somebody who, I don't know, like I don't know what they.
So that went aside only because I don't know if it's. I don't know how if it's confirmed. I know that somebody said they quit because of it. Quit the show Girls because of it. Which, if true, wow, that's a staggering. That's a staggering thing. If
she quit, she might want to come up with a reason to quit that makes it so that she's not in some contract dispute. So we don't know what actually went down.
So aside from that, which if true would cast her in a light that would be very unfavorable for me for sure, the kind of light like that I would avoid working with you, knowing that, right? Now there is some latitude there because I believe in people coming around. I also believe that racism is something that people are often raised into, and so they're grossly unaware of it often, you know? Or the extent to which they feel these things. It's
often when you're in your 20s that you learn how poorly those lessons were suited you, you know? You get to unlearn all of that stuff and become the person that you want to be instead.
So I became more sympathetic of her after watching the pilot than I was before I started watching the pilot.
Because there were themes about racism in it?
No, because I felt like it was inferior. I felt like the whole thing was just like a sort of a shallow mirror of her former self. And by that I mean, and I can get right to the things that I like about it, she's got a wit and charm about her writing that when it's on, it's just wonderful. It's just delightful to watch. And this pilot had that in there.
Dude, Lena Dunham writes dialogue so awesome.
Yeah, she can find good rhythm and cadence and dialogue.
It's genuinely delightful to watch her characters converse with each other.
Yeah, and I think that I know there have been complaints about the way she writes women, but I like the way she writes women. I think, you know, as a man, that gives me a certain amount of ignorance. To, you know, that statement is, you know, innately laden with some ignorance, but I like the way she writes women for the most part. And even if I felt like she mishandled the protagonist in this opening, I was still very curious enough to have another one, even though I did think that if I was going to like give a rating of good or bad, I would put this on the bad as a pilot goes. Again, it still had so much of her charm, it still had so much of her wit, and she's got a tongue-in-cheek that I also, it's like the perfect amount of acid when she's on in your meal, you know? It's just like, it's just there, and it's just enough to keep it kind of sizzling and moving. And that's where I think the pilot also lacked, was that it didn't really move. It was just like this big constant statement of this protagonist in some way.
I did feel like the storyline was a little jumbled because they didn't tell it chronologically. They jumped timelines.
And it didn't even seem necessary to do.
Really very clear.
Yeah.
Also, like, you and I were talking, because we were both really critical of the fact that the protagonist does a breaking and entering in the first episode. And you and I were talking, I was like, okay, well, so she does the breaking and entering because she's trying to confront her boyfriend, and that's how she gets to her boyfriend to confront him. He's in the house that she breaks and enters. I was like, well, what if she's just knocking on the window of the front door and it accidentally breaks, and now he's coming out and he was like, oh my God, somebody's breaking in, but it's her, and now they have a confrontation at the front door. And she's trying to explain about how she's not crazy. She didn't intend to break the door, and he doesn't believe her, and like, that's such a more...
And then the new girlfriend's like trying to call the police, and he's trying to stop her, and maybe she even cuts herself. There's so many ways to make that whole opening.
She could be wounded.
Like,
I need help. Can you forget about the reason why
I wasn't breaking in. He was like, I'm gonna get. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna come. They're gonna get an ambulance. They're gonna take you to the hospital, and then they're gonna arrest you for breaking into my house.
I know, something
like
that.
It would have been way better than having her show up and have this like instead they stay in bed, like it's like they get broken into on a regular basis.
They don't hear the glass breaking in their door. She walks straight into their bedroom, and then they're just like, what are you doing here?
Correct.
And it's like not a big deal.
Yep.
It's so weird. The whole time I'm like, what is this show? She's better than this. But
and you know, you and I jammed out a whole different opening based on your first recommendation of them, like her knocking on glass and accidentally breaking the glass and making it seem as though she's breaking in. We did that after watching the pilot, we had a jam session that lasted maybe 7 minutes, and in that 7 minutes we were able to completely re-situate that whole opening to make the protagonist off to a way better start. You have sympathy for her and empathy for her, because
and further solidify the fact that she's misunderstood wherever she goes, whatever she does.
Exactly.
She's misunderstood.
Right.
Instead of her like deliberately being like
and incredulous and all these other things. So anyway, that's not how she wrote it. Instead, she wrote it that she broke in. It made her completely uneven and unsteady for us. It was a really dubious beginning, because it was like, so what are we dealing with? A completely irrational psychopath? Or is she like actually somebody who I do want to go on a long-ass journey through multiple episodes, possibly seasons with?
Well, so here's the thing that you and I were talking about when you were writing your book. And I know that you were really limited because you're writing real people. But I always just feel very strongly that...
Don't reveal my fucking secrets.
No, I'm not. But I always feel really strongly that it's like, it's really important for the audience or the reader or whatever to feel that they can predict what the character is going to do. There's a sense of security in being able to predict something. And that's a tool that you can use as a writer to like turn on its head, where you're like, oh shit, they did something unpredictable. And now that's like really... that's like a dazzling little like jolt of electricity to the reader, you know? But if you don't set them up to be predictable, even if they're like messy, even if they're criminals, even if they're whatever, like, nuts or whatever, make their version of their normal predictable to the reader so that you can work on that later. But in this show, she started out so unpredictable that I'm like, okay, so now I'm just expecting her to break into buildings now. Like, is that something I can predict her doing? Because it was so unpredictable in the beginning. And now I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is something that this person does. So it sort of set me up with a wrong expectation about the protagonist. And then in the rest of that episode and the second episode we saw, she's nothing like that at all. So I just thought that was a really bad initial setup.
We got so much to talk to about Blake Lively that I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to say that all in all, I felt like the situation, that the pilot was... bad, generally speaking, and the second episode improved but didn't get great anyways. I did love it though, more than I loved the first one. I don't say I loved it
super, super, super well.
Yeah,
what I absolutely adore about Lena Dunham's writing. Yeah, she finishes an episode perfectly every time. She gives you that sense of like, there's like she just knows how to close with to give you like the final taste on your tongue is like longing and relatedness. Like I always relate to the characters in the final moments of a scene. I mean, of this episode, and it makes me want to watch what happens to them next, because they are me in that moment, and no matter what happened. Like in that first pilot, we weren't really super thrilled, but she finished it perfectly. I was like, how did she do that? It's magic. I was having a conversation with a writer today about this. It's about having it's about knowing the emotional tone, the emotional goal of a scene, or of a pilot, or of a season, or of an entire series. Like if you understand the emotional goals, that's where the voice will come out and start to emerge, because you've got the emotional goals. And by emotional goals, I was saying earlier today, by emotional goals, I'm talking about like what do I want you to feel at the end of the episode that I just wrote? Not what the characters are feeling or what through. What do I want you to feel? And I think this is what she knows. Yeah, she knows how she wants me to feel at the end of the episode. And even if she's messy getting there, she still knows how to do it. She did it in both of the episodes we watched. So this show is not dead for me. I want to continue to watch it. I think that it's going to be worth watching. And again, I do have, and I also think that she still has a strong empathetic tone. Like there's so much about what she's writing about that, even though it's kind of like Taylor Swift songs in this way, that even though I'm not directly able to relate to a life in New York and with these exorbitant people, I think, she has this gay character guy that is like just so over the top and hard to relate to, for me at least, a little bit, just because it's just so big. It kind of almost like John Waters big, early John Waters, I should say. So, but again, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go on a little bit of a journey with Lena Dunham. And part of the reason was why I'm going to do this, and this is what's really interesting about it, is if you're a writer, her dialogue is worth paying attention to. It just is, it's not going to be the greatest dialogue every episode, but it's worth paying attention to, because I think she does have a really strong understanding of how to create distinction in characters. Dude, and she's so good at levity when it's needed. Yeah. And tension and conflict when it's needed. and I just feel like she's got like the Midas touch when it comes to characters talking to each other.
Yeah.
I just.
So you're going to keep watching it with me, I assume? Yeah. Are you doing that voluntarily?
Yes.
All right, that's terrific. So we also watched, this will be our last thing, and then we're going to get into the all the juicy juice. We watched one feature film this weekend, and that was Licorice Pizza. Why was it called Licorice Pizza?
Nobody knows.
Okay. It just occurred to me as it came out of my mouth, wait, that was never answered for me. I was expecting like a reason why it's called Licorice Pizza.
Somebody here probably knows. Everybody in our chat is always so knowledgeable about it.
Stefan's back. He asks, what's up, Stefan? Were you a fan of Girls? Yeah, I liked Girls. I thought Girls was some of the best writing of its time in those first at least 3 seasons. I lost interest because I felt like it started to get like they were just trying to, keep us around as opposed to wrap it up.
I think that it's important to recognize that Girls has a narrow audience, and it's perfect for them. But Breaking Bad or
it was a hit.
Breaking Bad or Sopranos or something, those have much broader audiences.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But telling the story about 20-somethings navigating the social friendships and romance in New York City is really a niche. It was like I never watched Sex in the City because I just cannot relate to anything they're trying to say.
Oh, it's a good show. I watched.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm not the audience, So I think a lot
I
of
wasn't.
people,
I'm not. But
a lot of people dismiss Lena Dunham's work because they're just simply not the audience she's writing for. But it doesn't mean she's not awesome.
Yeah. Stefan said some insanely good performances in Girls. Abso-fucking-lutely. That cast just lit it up. They were wonderful. Loved them. So we watched the great Paul Thomas Anderson at it with Licorice Pizza. Mm-hmm. And I had really mixed feelings about the movie, but I ended up thinking about it a lot today. So that's like a really big plus when I wake up the next day and I'm like, huh. And I wasn't thinking about, and I was thinking about it in the same sort of ambiguous, maybe enigmatic way that I thought about it as I watched it. Like I didn't know what the fuck the movie was there for. I couldn't figure it out because I didn't like we were just talking about like Lena Dunham and how she has like great emotional definition in her work. And like, I can't say that about this movie. This movie just didn't seem to lack all of that actually.
I know, I kept waiting.
I was more observing and less experiencing. Like it was like, okay, I'm watching this happen, which isn't altogether bad, but it didn't take me on a dance. I couldn't go with it where despite Cooper Hoffman putting out a wonderful performance, despite really most of the cast, George DiCaprio, shout out to George DiCaprio, shows up and does and I didn't even recognize him when it happened.
A cameo.
Yeah, you brought it up. I didn't even recognize it, which was so surprising because you were like, George DiCaprio was there. I was like, what? And you were like, yeah, he was in the scene with the blah, blah, blah. So we go back and there he is and he hasn't even fucking changed. So not only did I not recognize him, but he looks exactly the fucking same when, he used to hang out with Leo. So it was a pretty funny moment. But the movie left me with a longing for some kind of emotional relationship to it that will never be fulfilled. I feel like P.T. Anderson could use a little, maybe pumping on the brakes a little bit with doing everything, because it felt like a movie that he was doing everything on. Like some of the light was wrong, like just dead wrong for me. Like I just felt like his sources weren't solid at all.
Ooh, that's a burn.
In like
because his I looked it up. The director of photography is him, and he's working with. There are 2 directors of photography.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. So.
Well, it's because he's using his gaffer who he's promoting.
Yeah, so he's promoted his gaffer who's really experienced. But when you said the lighting, I'm like, a bummer.
Well, it's not bad lighting. It's a beautiful movie. It's beautifully shot. His frames.
It's the lighting or the color correction?
No. I'm talking about light for sure. Okay. Yeah. I actually think his color's great. I think that guy can make a 70s movie better than a fucking Polaroid camera.
I know. I'm really sick of the blue lens flare, though. I gotta tell you, dude. I was like, oh, we're watching a J.J. Abrams movie all of a sudden. Like, what is this blue lens flare doing everywhere?
Lens flares in space.
All the way across the entire screen.
J.J. Abrams has lens flares in space.
Yeah, that's his signature.
Bro, the lights aren't on. So, in all, I thought that Licorice Pizza is a really good movie. In all, I also felt like Licorice Pizza was a pointless movie. And what I'm surprised about, or what I guess I admire most about it, is that it got made at all. That he was able to, that anybody was like, absolutely, after reading that, you know, because I can't, like, I feel like he might be this kind of level where, like, you hand in the script and they read it and everyone's like not sure what to say, except that they better just say they like it because it's coming from a genius. So they don't fucking know. They just read it and they're like, it must be genius. Yeah, I like the subtext
like,
in this.
Oh, another running transition. Cool.
Yeah. And that was the other thing. It was basically Punch Drunk Love. Like
yes.
That's a whole other thing, which actually it makes it more intriguing.
I'm going to take credit for calling this because I love Punch Drunk Love. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. And I was like, oh, this is like a prequel. So obviously Cooper Hoffman in Licorice Pizza is starting a mattress. He's starting a waterbed business. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman in Punch Drunk Love was known as the Mattress Man.
He was the Mattress Man.
He had a bed business.
That's right.
A mattress business. And I was like, oh, so this is like the prequel.
Fucking super fan over here.
And it all takes place in the Valley. And so that's when he got his start and he grew up to be a Mattress Man. So it's like, you know, his kid is playing him at a younger age. But then as the movie went on, that kind of fell apart. So I don't know. Maybe that's the lore. I don't think that I enjoy this brand of this variety of P.T. Anderson's filmmaking, where he just like Inherent Vice was the same way, where I was like, yeah, visually cool, but what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Is there a plot? Ever? Can we expect a story? Maybe.
Can I get a plot somewhere?
Like, it's not just like these two people, like, you know, venturing around each other vaguely in a vague romance, like satellites, you know, like that's just the whole story until finally they're like, you know, in love and inseparable, but it's completely inexplicable how they ever made that connection. It's like,
well, I liked the movie. Did you like the movie in the end?
I am so dazzled by his camera work, and I really love the performances he gets out of people so much. He's just it's just visually, and just the experience is dazzling, but no. I mean, I enjoy watching it, like something to put my eyes on and like enjoy, but not because it tells me a story. And I feel like the things that I like most about movies are like, you know, fucking plots. And I just didn't. How
did you fall in love with me then?
What do you mean?
I'm like a plotless dude.
You tell more of a story in everything that you create, and you do it intentionally. I just feel like a lot of P.T. Anderson movies these days are like, what if we just vibed? Like, that's the plot.
Yeah, he's a very ambiance, and like he the other thing is
like that a lot.
It's easy to appreciate like his level of detail. Like he had those long ass. He had some like shots to die for. He had that shot.
Every time.
He had that shot that was inside, exposed to the outside. Where this inside, so he must have had the outside. I mean, he must have had the inside just lit to a motherfucker because
like blinding.
Yeah, blinding because and it looked beautiful. It looked beautiful, and he tracked the I think it was the female. He tracked her as she walked right across these, and it was like a long track. Like,
yeah, he's never not going to be the greatest that ever was for stuff like that. Like he is undeniably an incredible director. I don't know whether I enjoy his writing. Is my issue. I think that he makes the best movies as a director.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to watch another one that he writes. Does that mean?
No.
I feel like I cherish him so much that I feel like that's mean.
Well, I'm gonna see Leo's movie. I'm sure of it. You know, so you know, I think he wrote it. I don't know. Delicate said that I think that Lena Dunham is in the Bad Blood music video.
No way. That's fun.
Lena was in the Bad Blood music video. I'm going to check that out. I did not know that. Thank you, Guilty Angel. Guilty Angel said, Dale, you have a true talent for writing. That was very kind of you to say.
I think so, too.
That's enough to make a man blush. Okay. Well, if you haven't seen P.T. Anderson's Licorice Pizza and you're looking for a nice low-key night of film watching, it's perfect. It's not a big eventful movie. There's some really lovely performances. Seeing Philip Seymour Hoffman's child rock a movie from the lead role was inspiring in and of itself. It's another moment of. First of all, the other thing about Licorice Pizza is no spoilers beyond this. Look for all the nepos. It's the house of nepos.
Stacked.
It's the house of nepos.
Stacked with every one of P.T. Anderson's famous friend's children is in this movie.
Yeah.
There's even a Spielberg child.
There's a Spielberg in this thing. This thing goes all the way through the...
And you were so funny because when
George is in it because...
Yes. Say it.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's like Leo didn't have a baby, or Leo's kid would have been in it, so instead he put
he put his dad.
George.
That's so great. Oh, and I also saw a friend, well, an acquaintance of mine. I used to have a friend, and her boyfriend at the time, who's now her husband, was in the movie too, and so that was kind of nice. He was in Licorice Pizza. He's the creepy tall guy that is like like casing the
he was kind of stalking him.
The mayor's office.
Stalking the mayor's office. So now we both know somebody who worked with P.T. Anderson.
Well, that's fun.
How about that? You guys are all 1 degree from P.T. Anderson at this moment.
Well, 2, I think, for me. Okay.
2 degrees? No, you're 1 degree. Well, I guess I see what you mean, yeah.
Would you like to hear some more from the chat?
Let's do it before we move on, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Guilty Angel's in Houston, Texas, visiting her sister.
Oh, it's Guilty Angel in Texas. Well, that's fun. Houston, man. That's a big town.
Delicate says, I agree with you about the wedding bells. I think that Taylor and Travis are already engaged.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I saw a couple of like some pictures of them in the bar, and it just immediately made me feel like this is it. This is it. I just felt it while I was looking at the pictures. Like I'd seen all these pictures of them, and there had been talk or whatever, and I never vibed on it. And then I just like it overwhelmed me in terms of it could have been that she got engaged in Ohio this weekend, like because I felt like this was the old showing Timmy two toes, man. Like I've known this guy since 4th grade.
Delicate said, LOL, that's exactly what he was doing. Timothy Two Toes, LOL. Danielle is with us on YouTube. Hey everyone, hope your weeks are off to a good start.
Yes. Thank you, and yours too. I do hope everybody has the best week of their damn lives tonight. And this week going forward. I was looking very forward to hanging out with you guys. I didn't get to do a lot of other work, like I didn't put any videos out today because I'm working on upgrading the sound one more time, and I got to work on the camera a little bit more, and I'm still fixing all the tech yet, but we're almost there. Slick, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, brother. Anyway, so any more from the chat, or should we?
Stefan said your thumbnail is so dramatic today.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, man, like Blake Lively is just racking this shit up, and I gotta feel like Justin Baldoni's not feeling so great about it. While all of his shills are out on tour signing fucking autographs, and these fucking guys are the worst kind of leeches. Like they're literally like trying to like be famous over these people's misery. It's just fucked up. Hey, why don't you shut up? I got a dog here got something to say, but nobody's listening, buddy.
Oh, Cosmic Urgency has the answer to what Licorice Pizza is about.
Yes, Bradley Cooper is in Licorice Pizza, by the way. Alyssa asked. Go ahead.
You have something on your nose.
What can it be?
Cosmic Urgency said Licorice Pizza is inspired by stories told to P.T. Anderson by his former child actor friend.
Okay.
Well, what the fuck is the name about?
That's I mean, that's cool. That's neat.
That is cool.
I still didn't have I still missed the emotional journey of it all.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's how good of a storyteller he is, though. And this is, by the way, something I admire in him and in anyone who can do this, because I frankly feel like this is my strength as well. And so I admire it because it's something that I like to learn from and feed from. And that is the ability to take very simple things and turn them into good story. And this is where I felt like this movie lacked just slightly on this situation, is that he just didn't find like the emotional delivery that I think the rest of the work deserved. Yes, Bradley Cooper plays John Peters. He's hilarious in it, actually. He did a great job.
Oh, he was playing a real person?
Oh, so he's playing John Peters as the friend, I guess.
I didn't know who that was. I know that the Bradley Cooper was saying that his character was saying that he's with Barbra Streisand, but I didn't know whether he was playing a real person. That's super funny. Oh,
John Peters. Wait, I don't know who John Peters is. Is that an actual real person? John Peters? Must be. I don't know what the fuck.
Did you post a video on TikTok today?
No. Why?
Because it just showed up.
I got a video on TikTok? Huh. Hope it's good.
I just got paranoid that it was like a deep fake or something.
He's the producer of Batman. Yes, real. Crazy. Well, anyway. Loved PT. Love PT Anderson. I think he's the real guy. He's the real deal. Obviously, he's a beautiful filmmaker. The guy is like something to watch. He's always worth a watch. And even if the movie fell short in some areas, it's another remarkable, or it's an example of a film that can only get made because he's got the kind of pedigree to bring it to the screen it would never otherwise. Yeah.
Slick Mick always knows everything.
Yeah, he does.
It's really incredible. It's so awesome to have Slick Mick back with us on TikTok.
He's a smart one.
He said yes. The guy that he played in the movie in Licorice Pizza was Barbra Streisand's hairdresser.
His hairdresser? Her hairdresser, I should say.
See? I never would have known that. Thank you.
I loved it. It was good. That performance was like one of my favorites in the movie. The movie's not short on really great performances. George DiCaprio's not one of them. Hey, he did all right, but that line in the end was really awkward.
He seemed nervous.
Yeah, he was not comfortable. I didn't see any comfort in that. He literally, he's kind of just like that though. So
he's just kind of
a bit awkward.
As he's so connected.
Done a lot of acid. Well, he was in the whole Timothy Leary scene. He was like a big art guy. He knew Ginsberg and all those fucking guys. So he was like man on the scene. That dude, that guy. Fucking man on the scene guy.
Okay, so here's the thing that I have to share with you today.
Thank you for all your likes, by the way. Yes.
So today we have Blake Lively continues to prevail. It's really amazing. I'm very impressed. I can't
believe she's not like at this point, like she must be building a float for her parade, right? Like she's got to be building the float at this point.
What my favorite thing about this about
very funny, Dale.
My favorite thing about everybody on Justin Baldoni's side having a little hissy fit about this is that they keep saying every time that Blake Lively's side wins in court, they keep leaning closer to the judge's bias and he's giving her preferential treatment or whatever. Okay? Yeah. But never once does it ever occur to them that maybe Brian Friedman actually just really sucks at his job. maybe Brian Friedman is the guy who doesn't get any wins for his client. Like, how come the blame is being put on the judge, who is like much less likely to be biased?
It's the same thing about her wresting control from Justin Baldoni. There's no conversation about Justin Baldoni losing control. There's no conversation about him not doing what he's supposed to do, because good producers don't lose control of their movies. Right. They just don't.
Like, the judge doesn't award Blake Lively these wins in a vacuum. It means that that Justin Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman is not doing a good job. Persistently.
The man's terrible. It makes me it makes me wonder if his whole strategy has been all along to just use every means possible to discredit and disparage Blake Lively under the guise of answering complaints, filing motions, answering motions, and filing countersuits. If all that, sort of activity was purely dedicated to and focused on disparaging Blake Lively to her bones, and had no legal plausibility whatsoever at any time, and that he knew it. Okay. I don't think he's going to lie to his clients, and they are losing everything. Look, let me just explain before we go on how bad they're losing. They're losing shit that nobody loses.
Nobody loses.
And you know why they're losing it? See, Baldoni's people, they want to start shouting, "Oh, fucking Judge Liman, he's favoring somebody." As stupid as you can do, is the stupidest, probably the stupidest thing he could do is show any bias toward anything Hollywood in his life as a career judge, right? It would be the end of his career if that ever came out. It would be the stupidest thing he could do. But nobody's going to think about this logically whatsoever. So they're going to fucking turn around and they're going to start like building these stupid, ridiculous scenarios around the idea this guy is cheating with Blake Lively and cheating for Blake Lively, not thinking about whether or not these guys are actually putting a bad case out, not actually thinking about the idea that maybe Blake Lively's case is this strong.
Yeah.
Like, it's just mind-blowing to me that there's just a complete absence of any logical thought at all to this.
Okay, so what I have for you today is is a really great example of how Brian Friedman keeps digging himself a grave. It's just amazing. I think it was on Friday that we were talking about the protective order that Blake Lively wanted. Maybe it was Thursday, but whatever. Blake Lively wanted a protective order for her depositions, which are supposed to take place on this Thursday.
Right.
Okay. And so the judge had to, try to hurry the response.
Let me interject before you go, because I forgot. I lost track. What I wanted to say was that it's extremely rare for somebody to lose this kind of a protective or this kind of a motion. Like, to be granted this motion by Judge Liman shows how horrible a job Friedman is doing. So everybody wants to call it this bias by Judge Liman, but it's not. It's the fact that Brian Friedman said he was going to put this shit on Madison Square Garden. It's the fact that he talked about broadcasting this to the world for the world to see. It's the fact that he has used every opportunity at every level of filings, whether it's motions or wherever else, to disparage her and harm her character. And it's for that reason that they granted, that Judge Liman granted this motion. And so all these, Baldoni guys are going to run, scream and foul, but it's all bad lawyering.
Yes. It's so bad.
It's just bad lawyering.
He has created a persona of himself to the judge that he is an antagonist instead of somebody who's just simply trying to defend his client.
And we read we read his response to the motion.
Yes,
and
that's what I'm trying to read today.
Okay, read it. Yeah, great.
Okay, so it's just, I wanted to read it because it's so astounding. Like, I didn't bother.
Yeah.
I just gave the highlights of what Blake Lively was asking for because her her lawyers are really clear. They're very concise. There's really not much to read. But Brian Friedman writes back with the most unbelievable hyperbole that I just feel like it's really important to recognize that this is why the judge is siding with Blake Lively over Brian Friedman.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying Baldoni anymore because Brian Friedman's kind of like a lone wolf at this point. I don't even know what he's defending his client for. He's kind of just become his own character where he's doing battle with Blake Lively.
That's why the whole thing feels like it's just like everything we do is about the publicity of it all, and we're because we're on a dying horse.
Yeah. So just to recap, what she wanted the depositions to take place in her own lawyer's offices because she knows there's going to be security there, and they can sort of control whether there's a paparazzi that has to come through, that she's going to have to battle through. And she doesn't know what kind of shenanigans Brian Friedman's going to...
And it's basically insinuating like there will be no leaks, there will be no nothing, everything will be tight as a drum.
Totally.
Yeah.
What was some of the other things?
And I got to tell you, I didn't think that she was going to win this one.
I didn't think so either. It seemed like a really... like a fine thing to...
having been in them, it's very uncommon. We didn't want to have...
Been in what?
In depositions with big, high-profile... right? Nonsense. And so I didn't want to go to... Let me tell you how big of an advantage this is. It's a huge advantage. So you get prepped like crazy for your deposition. You're going over your evidence, knowing what I can glean from Blake Lively. It would be very likely that she's deeply involved in understanding the level of discovery before she gets into her deposition. So all of that prep is done at her lawyer's office. All the asking questions and getting answers. She's been working with her attorneys at that office this whole time. So her level of comfort and security at that place is so huge. So I got all my prep done at my attorney's office for my deposition. Then I had to go walk into Leo's attorney's office. And it was like all my confidence got stripped off of me immediately. It was like so fucking intimidating to be in their territory with all this tension and, so that she gets to sit in her lawyer's office in the comfort of her lawyer's in the familiarity of that setting and in a confidence building area. The whole time that the lawyers were prepping me, they were like, "That's it. It's like a this fun and games section in a fucking Sylvester Stallone Rocky movie. You know what I mean? I'm punching meat, and they're like, there you go, Rocky, you're gonna beat him. And you're like, I better beat him. And then to actually have that happen in your own territory really helps hold that confidence down.
Yeah, there's also a lot of memory cues that happen for just everybody.
Exactly.
If you're if you recall something and you're used to looking up and to the left, whatever, in the corner, of your own office. When you're recalling it during the depositions, if you're looking up and you're not seeing the same things, it's not going to recall your memory as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I forget, they call it, I don't know if they call that chunking or something. There's some sort of like neurological term.
I don't like the name of that. Don't say that word again.
Okay.
That's my moist.
Okay, so another thing that she was asking for was she wanted to know who was going to attend her deposition. And I asked you about this because you're obviously very experienced with celebrity lawsuits and depositions.
Okay.
But asking for them to notify you of who is attending your deposition, is that normal or is that not normal?
Yeah, it's beyond normal, and it's especially normal when there's a high-profile deponent involved, for sure. They want to know who's going to be in the room, and they'll often just tell you ahead of time. They'll just be like, okay, the deposition is blah, blah, blah. Present will be counsel and blank, blank, whatever.
So you attended every one of the depositions in the lawsuit that you were named in, Stutman v. DiCaprio.
Yes.
And so DiCaprio and McGuire and Kevin Connolly and everybody that was deposed, they were told that you were going to be there?
They knew I was going to be there. And RD was there.
And that's a totally normal thing to do. That didn't have to be negotiated?
Completely normal.
That's interesting.
It's not a negotiation at all. It's common. You know, you don't fucking, people aren't going to sit down and start deposing and being deposed under oath where they have to reveal even sometimes the most intimate details of their life or their situation. They're not going to just do that to any fucking howdy doody sitting in the chair next to them. Nobody's going to do that. You know, this is a civil proceeding. So, and there's a protective order, which is, by the way, another common thing. There's no favoritism in putting a protective order on her testimony. DiCaprio had a protective order on his. I just didn't respect it because fuck that guy.
Well, because he broke all of his.
Yeah, he broke everything. Exactly. Maria Stanley is saying that she thinks that Friedman was joking about the Madison Square Garden thing. Well, he couldn't have been serious, could he? It's not about that. It's about untrustworthiness. It's about sketchiness. It's about him going on. It's about a lawyer going on a parade of shows and podcasts and TMZ and wherever else and giving exclusive interviews, and doing so and saying things like we're gonna sue them to oblivion. And
she also included in her filing when she was asking the judge for this protective order for her depositions. She included in her filing some 400 pages or something, which is so much. It's probably transcript of Brian Friedman losing his cool and almost striking another attorney during a deposition when he's representing Vin Diesel. So
yeah, so he has there's all that's my point, is that it's bad lawyering, right? It's not that it's, I'm just
saying, like, to the judge, taking all of this into account, right? The Madison Square Garden comment, which he did make, that's unrefuted. And then this, conduct in another deposition, he's like, yeah, I feel like maybe these people are right to be a little wary about what, like,
exactly,
unpredictable Brian Friedman is going to do.
Or just the judge saying, you know what, I can't reliably ask this person and believe that they're going to do what I ask. Because all they've shown is a total disregard for any of the normal ethics and best practices of civil litigation.
Yeah, and again, this is what I keep saying, like, all day to people. This is Brian Friedman screwing up. This is all a result of him screwing up. Why did he make a Madison Square Garden comment? What kind of good lawyer does that?
Well, I'll tell you what I think it is. And again, it's like, good lawyer to what? Like, he's trying to, we don't know that he wasn't this whole time just trying to push into a settlement and it just didn't work. And now they're in a raft without any paddles, right? So they got trouble now, and they got to now just.
Now he's paying the price. Is all I'm saying. This isn't Judge Liman's fault. It's not Lively's fault. It's Brian Friedman's fault for being unhinged. But
we call, it's okay to call it bad lawyering if you want to talk about the ethical side of it. But again, having gone through this process, one thing I feel very confident in saying is that Brian Friedman never sat across from Justin Baldoni and what's his name? Swanson's West, whatever.
Steve Sarowitz?
Sarowitz and Heath. He never sat across from them and said, hey, dude, you're going to win, or I got a plan to win this case. He almost certainly sat across from him and said, this is tough to win. She definitely has her battles. Like the conversation between him and the clients was likely something very rational and very like truthful in terms of what he could glean from the evidence that he had. Discovery notwithstanding. So he's sitting there and saying, in all likelihood, you don't have a great chance at winning this case. It's really hard to prove. We'll sue her for $400 million to get it sensationalized so that people will pay attention to it.
And I'll go around
because this is likely going to get thrown out.
Right.
Like I'm saying that he probably disclosed to them that they're going to use the process to achieve what were his publicity goals in the first place.
And he's like, you're going to hire me, and I am totally willing to be your carnival barker. And I'm willing to completely debase myself for the cause of getting this woman buried in the press.
Like it seems like it's almost likely that they had the conversation of, so do you want to win? You can't win in the court, but you can win in the court of public opinion. So let's go for the court of public opinion. Do you know, that might have even been Melissa Nathan's. You know, Melissa Nathan might have actually been like the one who said, okay, all right, well, we shot about 5 holes in the boat. We're going down. Let's go down swinging.
That's interesting. That's exactly what a crisis PR person would do. Okay, do you want to hear this?
Yes.
Okay, dear Judge Liman, this is from, let me see if it's him. No, this is from Mitchell Schuster, a partner.
Schust, I call him.
The Schust.
It's the Schust.
Okay, so this is what they went with the judge. This is what they lost on. Okay. Dear Judge Liman, defendants, collectively the Wayfarer parties, opposed Blake Lively's motion for a protective order precluding her deposition at the Manhattan office of the Wayfarer Parties Council, as noticed and directing that it occurs at a location of her choosing. The motion, a masterclass in hyperbole, should be denied. Lively relies solely on inapplicable authority and unsupported accusations about opposing counsel and their motives. Lively does not present a single fact to support her allegations of a plot to use the depositions as a publicity stunt. Lively is a plaintiff who has hurled serious allegations of misconduct against the Wayfarer parties. Like all defendants, the Wayfarer parties are entitled to depose Lively to develop evidence crucial to their defense. Yes, of course the judge knows this. They are also entitled to choose the location of the deposition, which they did. And then he's citing case law. The presumption in favor of the location selected by the noticing party may only be rebutted by a showing that the circumstances weigh against the designated location. Lively fails to rebut the presumption. Mere speculation of an ulterior motive rather than a legitimate need for the plaintiff's deposition is insufficient. In assessing the circumstances, courts apply a rule, which he cites, good cause standard in their analysis, considering cost, convenience, and litigation efficiency. The cost factor is neutral because the difference in cost between the parties' choices of locations is negligible. As Lively notes, the locations at issue are a mere mile apart. This is probably why they lost, too, because the judge is like, yes, I agree, the cost of the location change is negligible. The convenience factor involves...
I don't think that was a factor, frankly, because it's to the party anyway. He would just... The rich, they wouldn't care.
This factor favors the Wayfarer parties. Lively resides in Manhattan. She's talking about how close it is.
1 mile.
Okay, this is the part that I think is so absurd. The relevant records are voluminous. Over 21,000 documents and 200,000 pages. And the Wayfarer Parties Council may well need to access, print, copy, and mark additional documents during the examination.
By the way, those are the same documents that he would have to pack up, right, and bring over to their side when they deposed Baldoni in their office.
That's right. And to court.
And by the way, they'll probably come back with, hey, then you're going to depose Baldoni in our office. And they might come back with, okay, whatever, that's fine, because as long as Blake Lively doesn't want to be there, unless she wants to be there, in which case they'd be like, nah, Blake Lively will be attending. And if I were Blake Lively, I'd fucking park my ass right across from him.
In other words, the resources necessary to effectively examine Lively are available at their law office, not the location that Lively proposes. Moreover, during breaks, the Wayfarer Parties Council will want to confer with co-counsel present in the office, but not in the deposition room. These routine situations are why the noticing party presumptively has the right to choose the location of the deposition, a fact that Lively's counsel does not refute. I am realizing, reading this, I thought this was interesting, but maybe it's going on too long.
Okay.
Do you want me to continue? It's 3 more paragraphs.
Go ahead.
Lively gives short shrift to the relevant factors. Instead, Lively feigns concern about security without a whit of evidence. Because she doesn't have time traveling device.
Well, it's not true. She does have a wit of evidence because she knows that this guy salivates at the idea of exploiting everything he can to as many people as possible at every step of the way. So she's got all of that.
Lively contends that if the location is not changed, she will be assaulted by hordes of paparazzi, and the Wayfarer parties may invite the press or hostile third parties to the deposition. This is not only fiction, it is nonsense. He talks about the location, and it's a commercial building owned and operated by Manhattan's largest office landlord. The building has a non-public entrance, and they have a private and secure space in which Lively and her counsel can wait and or meet during breaks. We trust that the professionals that she has already engaged can ensure her a safe entry into the building. Lively is welcome to have her security staff accompany her into our office and secure her exit upon the completion of her examination. Lively avers that the Wayfarer parties have not...
How's that spelled?
Avers.
What the fuck is avers, people?
I don't know. It's my first time encountering that word. Lively,
lawyers always pull one out, you know?
Yeah. Lively avers that the Wayfarer parties have not denied or refuted Lively's allegations.
Avers?
Yes. And are manufacturing a public spectacle by requiring her to attend a deposition at their law offices. The Wayfarer parties had no obligation to continuously respond to the barrage of emails from Lively's counsel unilaterally dictating where she'll be deposed based upon her contrived allegations of some intent to make a media show of her deposition. It's not the Wayfarer party's burden to defend their chosen location. It is Lively's burden to rebut the presumption that the chosen location is proper. Further, the Wayfarer parties were not obligated to identify those who would be attending the deposition a week in advance as she demanded. And you're saying it is normal to identify those people. I mean,
it's a courtesy. It's a normal courtesy. So it's you know, I'm not here to set the standards for what people do in the legal system, but we knew and we told them.
The last bit is, it is ironic that Lively alleged. See, I don't know why they're telling the judge this. It is ironic that Lively alleges that the Wayfarer parties are trying to generate press interest in her deposition, given that she tirelessly ensured that the New York Times widely publicized her allegations.
Sounds like fucking Donald Trump, doesn't it?
Yes.
The stolen 2020 election.
And that her representatives provided a self-serving quote to the media about the motion. Although Lively's foot stomping and use of her celebrity status may have enabled her to seize control of the film, which were allegations that were thrown out of court, that doesn't even exist anymore, which is the crux of this dispute. No, it isn't anymore. Her counsel's tantrum has no place in this court. Lively is bound by the federal rules of civil procedure just like every litigant, and is not entitled to preferential treatment, especially to the prejudice of the Wayfarer parties.
If it's the crux of that lawsuit, then why the fuck haven't they sued her co-conspirator, Sony? If the crux of their lawsuit...
It's the crux of no lawsuit.
Brian Friedman... Yeah, but okay, if the crux of his complaint... It's hilarious, but if the crux of his complaint or defense is that, then why didn't he, when he had the chance, didn't have the chance now, but why didn't he sue him?
Yes.
If that's the crux of it, if the whole thing is on this so-called wresting control of the movie, she could only do it with a co-conspirator, and there were only two possible co-conspirators, Wayfarer or Sony. Those were the only two options. She needed one of them in order to pull it off. She could not solo that.
Also, if she wrested control of the movie, doesn't that also simultaneously mean that Justin Baldoni lost control of his movie? Like, at which point is he ever going to be accountable for his own failures in the outcome of the film that he owned, controlled, directed, was the boss of, all of these things? Like, is it all her fault that he couldn't keep his film together? It's like somebody just said that I'm so biased, and it's just like, well, why aren't you calling the people who are saying that she wrested control of the movie biased instead of the ones that are saying that he lost control of the movie biased? Like, why can't he have, why isn't that he lost control of the movie and control of the production? Why isn't that the topic? Why can't he take responsibility for any of his failures?
Any of them. And he calls up and he leaves that incredible message of support and kindness. No, it's absolutely meaningless.
So I just wanted to just close this up with the two short lines that Judge Liman ruled with.
Slick says, Baldoni's going to write a second book. It's going to be called Nice Guys Like Me, in parentheses, finished last. He's going to totally he's going to flip that. It is a really brilliant idea. They should actually listen to this. If they get a hold of this, maybe they'll fucking be like, this is what we got to do. This guy's slick. He's got it. He should. That's true. He should. And the title is actually perfect.
What's it going to be about, Dale?
Or it's going to be about, you know, finishing last, bro. I don't know. It's going to be about getting fucked over when you didn't get fucked over, even though you got fucked over.
He's going to tell more stories about how he got, like, ridiculed by kids when he was in his childhood.
He's going to take back all the things he said that he did to women.
He's also going to say, like, I know that I grew up really hot and sexy. I mean, just look at me. Like he always does, right?
Well, didn't he just...
But I am actually a guy who finishes last.
Didn't he just recently... say that he and his family got therapy because they're not perfect?
Yes. He was like, I'm still struggling to learn that I'm not perfect.
Believe it or not. Hey, I'm not perfect. I
really
know
struggles with this. When
you look at me, you must think, my God, he's perfect. But no. I am not.
Do you know why? Because his astrology chart, his Venus is in his Sagittarius 4th house.
Oh.
So he comes from a certain amount of like idealistic beauty. Idealistic beauty is like an origin story for him. That's what that interpretation.
Well, this guy's losing, like and he's losing a lot.
Okay, so this is what Judge Liman said. He said the motion for a protective order by Blake Lively is granted.
Unbelievable! I can't even believe it.
Lively will make arrangements for opposing counsel to have a dedicated computer and the ability to print and copy documents in the space chosen by Lively. The Wayfair parties shall notify Lively of the attendees of... Sorry, I misread that. The Wayfair parties shall notify Lively of the identities of the individuals who will attend the deposition by July 15th at noon. That's tomorrow.
And the reason why, dude, is because you can't trust these guys that they're not going to throw shenanigans in here, because you're not supposed to have anyone but party and counsel in a deposition, and of course court reporters and staff. But anyway, I'm shocked they got the protective order, but I understand why, because it's not that anyone believed that he was going to broadcast her deposition on Madison Square Garden, because she was never going to agree to that. It's the idea that he has that in his mind that makes him unstable.
I'm sorry, I keep talking over you.
Yeah, you're good at it. I'm good at it too. I love you.
It also wasn't that much of a big deal. He said in his own, he was like, okay, here's my argument for why Blake Lively should come to our law offices. It's not a big deal. It's not even that far from where her law offices are. And so the judge was like, okay, then it's not a big deal for you to go there. If you're saying that it would be no big deal for you for her to travel, then it's no big deal for you to travel either. Why doesn't he have his 21,000 documents on a hard drive?
Well, he does.
Yeah, I know.
Because those same documents would still have to go over to Lively's office when they do Baldoni.
Stupid.
Or when they do Sarowitz, or when they do Heath, or all of the Lively side depositions are going to take place at Lively's lawyer's office. All of them.
Oh, Delicate said that was me on YouTube. Remember, I was like, did you upload something today?
Oh. You
said, because I saw you in a video, and it just showed up on my feed. And I was like, oh, if you didn't, then I guess somebody else did it. It was Delicate. So that was me. I screen recorded your YouTube short and uploaded it. It's about Justin and Blake.
Oh, okay. That's so cute.
That's so great.
You're like, hey, this thing just popped up. Well, thanks, Delicate. That's very kind of you.
Delicate said that what we're seeing on their side is an absolute refusal to be on the side of a woman or believe a woman. Yes,
I agree with that. I agree with that statement fully and completely. It's almost frightening, really, how the misogyny in this country is so blatant that it's disturbing. It's just blatant, and that there isn't a larger and louder outcry about it is slightly disturbing for me. In the same way that I feel that way about so many other of the crazy things that happen around these parts these days. It's just I cannot believe it. I really truly cannot believe it. And it's so funny because it's these people who think there's some kind of boundary crossing or something when it comes to believing women, emboldening the truth in this way. We talked about Michael Pitt's situation. Michael Pitt was accused and arrested based on allegations made by a lover or wife. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact relationship legally, but they were together. He's accused of some pretty heinous things, and he had to apply to get out of the country because he's indicted, and
yeah, he had to ask the court for permission to leave the country
so he can work.
Yeah.
And you know, when he applied, he published, or he supplied for the court, evidence of some of their defense. And in the evidence, the same woman who's accusing him of all these things admitted to lying of accusing him of all of these exact same things to another person. And it really suddenly like casts everything into doubt. And we were talking about how it's really important that there's always enough space for the truth. So the first thing you do is you make space for the story to come out, right? And you believe in and embrace that process. You were harmed. Let's hear your story. Let's make that space. The assumption isn't that you know, every woman is going to tell the truth, because we know 3% or whatever it is won't. The assumption is
it's 2%. I think is statistically what they found is false allegations, and I think that's for both genders. You know. Sure,
it sounds like margin of error, and sure, of course, most people who are going to come forward, and this is the important thing. This is why we know to do this. The important thing is to enable and embolden them in their, you know, in their telling of their story.
Yeah, that like, you know, motto, whatever, credo, whatever, believe women.
Yeah,
you know? It's only supposed to extend to the point of like investigating, like,
and then make space. You're not
supposed to believe them all the way until to the the executioner's hood. You're just supposed to believe them long enough to investigate, and that's
right, to make room for the truth.
That has been a high hill to climb, because a lot of times they're not believed.
Yeah, out of the gate, or the worst, or even worse, is that someone isn't given credibility because they're the only one.
So I was really surprised that you said that they arrested Michael Pitt, that he was actually
charged.
That he was actually charged, because if he has this evidence that makes it seem very, very much like he's being framed or something.
Yeah.
Then I'm not sure why the prosecutors haven't obtained that yet before they decided to make it hard for him to travel. I don't know. I'm happy for him that case hasn't blown up and he's not become like the face of the newest, you know.
You made me like nervous that I had it wrong, but yes, he was charged with various offenses.
Oh, that's so weird.
And
he's like, guys, right here on my cell phone, she's admitting to lying about this stuff.
By the way, when somebody reports this to the DA, if she doesn't turn over the texts, they don't know the texts exist. And she's not going to turn that text over. I don't believe that Abel or Nathan have turned over the texts that they already got, admitting when they admitted.
Yes, this is so juicy. Okay, so interesting. So a lot of the times in this discovery, see, we're not hearing anything from Lively's side, because her lawyers are actually ethical and they're actually just doing the lawyering, and they're making their case in court, you know? And so we're not hearing a lot of this stuff. But man, there's some juicy little drip drops that we get sometimes.
Yes.
And one of those just last week was that Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan are participating in discovery like everybody has to. And they sent over a whole bunch of like text messages and a bunch of these records of correspondences between them. And one thing that Blake Lively's attorney has told the court is that very specifically what's missing from those text messages are the most damning messages that they have already obtained from Stephanie Jones.
Yeah.
So Blake Lively knows that these very damning texts exist, and she is also knows that they're trying to prohibit her from obtaining those texts in discovery.
Yeah, crazy.
So I don't know what their play is. Are they just going to claim that she made it up, like photoshopped it, or what? I don't think that they're refuting that they existed. They're just trying not to hand them over.
No, they just, you know, I think the play is they already have them. That's not how it works.
No.
But I think the play in their mind is that they already have them. You know, but it's such a bad move.
Specifically, it's the text messages where they're saying he wants to know that we can bury her.
These are the texts preceding the phone call when they're going to have a little group call. Do you want to go to chat?
Yes. Maria Tani said, I wonder why the judge is letting the public call in and listen. I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think it'll be something big? I didn't know about that. I won't be listening in on the judges. I tried to do that a few times.
It's summary judgment.
Oh my God, is it going to be?
When was this?
I don't know.
Judge Liman.
Summary judgment. They wouldn't be doing this before the deposition, would he? No. The depositions have to happen first, don't they?
Lewis Liman. What a great name, Lewis Liman. You know that guy was good in school. Lewis, get up here. Solve the problem. All right, Judge Liman, what? What is this?
That he's allowing the public to call in and listen.
Public.
To a hearing, I guess.
Hearing? Let's see. We'll hold a hearing 3 days ago. Oh, there's another one. There's another sub called Team Justin Baldoni.
I'm sure it's real cheery over there these days.
They have 12,000, they have 59 users there now going, guys, I'm feeling a little shaky in the knees about all this. It's all these people are turning on Donald Trump too. Like, you never know. Maybe the swelling will come of the truth, Maybe the truth is going to come and grab some... maybe the truth prevails. I don't know.
Okay, so I have another item for you today. Dale?
Grab your friends, wear your florals, said the top commenter. Judge Liman will hold a hearing on the schedule of discovery in this case on July 15th, 2025 at 3:30. Well, that was already happened. What were you going to say?
I was just going to...
Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay.
I was just going to read you this next thing.
It's a discovery hearing tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. and you can dial in. I won't be. I don't think I need to hear about that. I doubt that there's anything big going on there. He's probably just looking at a certain level of transparency around this issue so that people aren't going to misreport on it.
Yeah.
Or that people who are misreporting are easily outed.
I think there's some things he has to figure out with the scheduling too.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so this is a lawyer that it contributes to the Reddit sub Baldoni Files.
Okay.
Who wrote out consolidated thoughts on various legal issues. And I just thought that this was very thorough, coming from a lawyer to inform the rest of us about what's going on.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
It's let me show you. It's this long.
That's long. That's really, really long. So maybe not. What is that? Explain this again. It's the what?
It just starts. I've commented here and there about summary judgment and trial, but I wanted to put it all into a single post for the non-lawyers.
I think we should come up with a summary of that rather than read that. That's like a wall of text there. But have you read it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is as far as the summary judgment goes, were they explaining how a summary judgment comes to be, or were they explaining whether or not they felt there was like any credible roads to a summary judgment in this case?
There's no way I'm going to be able to summarize that. As a non-lawyer, I'll just trip over my own feet.
Do they think summary judgment is possible?
Yes.
Okay. Me too. I think it's possible because...
it's after discovery that there's an opportunity to file summary judgment.
Right, of course. Yeah, you have to wait till discovery because...
So it wouldn't be... That's not happening tomorrow.
It'll be the end of August. Mm-hmm. It'll be like the end of August. I forget when they have an actual date, August something, but it'll get pushed. If all discovery isn't in, it'll get pushed. And then, yeah, of course it's after discovery. You got to know what the evidence is before you can say, yeah, fuck this case, bro. The interesting thing about a summary judgment, which is wild, because if they get a summary judgment, Baldoni supporters are going to scream fucking foul. My Lord, they'll go crazy.
Sure. Also, he says any legal influencer, like any like lawyer on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, that is predicting outcomes now is absolutely untrustworthy.
Yeah.
Because there's too many moving parts right now to be able to tell.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're, I don't know, that's kind of a crazy statement in that regard, because it depends on what level they're participating. I'm sure that any lawyer worth their weight is going to say, we can't possibly know the outcome. However, I think anybody thinking that this case is looking good for Justin Baldoni is not paying attention at all. I don't care, what your ethics are.
I don't think anybody thinks it's looking good for him.
No, he had his case.
He's going to be vindicated eventually.
His fucking case gets thrown out. He's lost it. He lost a motion today that is such I just don't know how. It's like this guy can't hold on to the ball. It's fumble, 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 fumble. So, does that mean that the evidence is going to somehow miraculously, turn to his favor. Maybe, but I doubt it very much. Here's why I doubt it. And it's just like, this guy's saying that, like, it's cool. I understand the ethics behind that statement, but we all read the fucking website. We all saw the stupidity of their claims. We've all watched as that lawsuit got kicked out of court, laughed at by the judge,
and now
practically.
He just has a defense now. That's it. He doesn't have any like claims. He doesn't have claims.
He's lost this motion. It's like, we don't know what's going to happen in this case. You don't, especially in a jury trial. And anybody who says that they know what's going to happen would probably be hyperbolic at the least. But what we do know is that it is not looking fucking good for them at all. That the evidence is wildly stacking in her favor.
Here's another thing that I feel like I've noticed. I don't know if I'm just like, just like vibing and sensing, or whether this is actually happening, but it just seems like really nefarious to me that they're operating this kind of like publicity campaign where as soon as Justin Baldoni's case got thrown out, they instantly started feeding these people conspiracies about the Van Zandt subpoena. Right. And then now these content creators are getting subpoenaed for whether they ever messaged the defendants, and like literally that's it. But now everybody's like got their hair on fire about how their rights are being trampled or whatever, which is just not true from the subpoena. And so I just feel like there's a little bit of like, it's a really, really awful thing to do to people who are really emotionally invested in a case, to not give anybody any time to digest the information that the case got thrown out. Seems like they were like instantly like, oh, no, don't pay attention to that. You definitely have to get angry about this thing instead. And I just feel like psychologically I'm seeing the results of that kind of like quick whiplash turn that they put everybody through. Yeah. Like they were everybody was so invested in his story being true, and now it just ceased to exist, completely disappeared. Nobody can make those claims anymore because they've literally been thrown out. Yeah. But they were like immediately like force fed this other conspiracy, and I just feel like we're witnessing how they haven't really integrated the information completely.
I mean, and I think they can't process it for sure.
I think that's what these publicists do on purpose, is they just like purposely like flood the zone.
Yeah, they do.
So that nobody can really like reconcile information properly.
For sure.
And they end up just reacting instead. I feel like that's a deliberate manipulation.
Delicate's like, he doesn't need to recuse. Justin needs to fire his lawyer. Like, this is what always drives me crazy about this case, because they talk about her taking control of the movie, not Justin losing control of the movie. They talk about how the Judge Liman is favoring Blake.
Are they saying that Judge Liman should recuse?
Well, people are saying that
because of his brother?
He has a bias, a Hollywood bias.
But this is such a perfect. But
my point was that
he needs a new lawyer.
My point is that instead of it being that he's a bad lawyer, like, it's not Judge Liman showing prejudice. This guy's a really fucking shitty lawyer. He lost a motion today that almost every lawyer wins.
Also, his I read his response to Blake Lively's motion for a protective order. Yeah, and he didn't address half of the things that she did. So the judge was like, okay, so it's unrefuted. So everything that Blake Lively's lawyer said is not getting addressed, so you must agree. Okay, then it's granted. This is what we're getting from them. Like, I'm not seeing half of the things that they allege are not getting addressed, and instead they do all this hyperbolic shit about other stuff, like the New York Times. Like, bro, that case was thrown out.
Tossed.
Like, what are you talking about? Can you live in the present moment?
Yeah. Now, the case got thrown out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the facts within the case would be, or that their defense is going to get thrown out, right? Their defense is not getting thrown out. Obviously, it cannot be thrown out.
Do you think that that's what their defense is going to be?
Unless there's a summary judgment.
That it wasn't, we didn't do a smear campaign, she did a smear campaign.
No, to the extent that you're right, to the extent that after having the New York Times lawsuit thrown out, there can be no defense claim that it's one thing when it clearly wasn't. And I doubt, it's my guess that the jurors are going to know that their lawsuit got thrown out, but maybe not.
What do you think their defense is going to be?
I don't think they have one. I don't think they have one. when they get there, they're going to try to cry foul that she tried to take over the movie. They're going to do all this nonsense.
They're going to say the same things that they had in their
same
lawsuit.
things. They're going to just, I don't know how they're going to survive the witnesses at all. It is such a bad situation because when you think about asking and answering questions in this case, they're just going to be bringing up garbage. They have nothing of substance. We've seen it. We've seen what they've offered. They put it all out for the world to see.
It's weird. Okay, so so her claim, is that she made complaints that went unaddressed. Okay, that's one claim that she's making. Right? There's other claims where she has a cause of action about conspiracy to commit a smear campaign. That's not the wording. But in regards to the one claim of how do you think that his defense is going to even address that? That she didn't complain? That she didn't make HR complaints?
Right. I don't know how they're going to pull this off because, as far as proving SH, I suppose it's difficult, but it's just as difficult to prove that it didn't exist.
No, but proving that she complained and that they didn't do anything.
Well,
didn't do anything about it.
Right. I mean, I don't know what Freeman's going to do. We've seen their evidence. It's just garbage. They don't actually have anything to stand on.
I don't know what they're going to say.
It's trouble. It's big trouble.
Okay, she's like, well, here's some text messages that clearly show that you guys are conspiring to invent false stories about me, negative press about me. Obviously, you guys are exchanging emails with exactly that intention. This is evidence of a smear campaign, a conspiracy to commit whatever. I can't remember what her claims is stated. But what's his defense for that? He can't say, oh, you were trying to take over the movie. He has to say, we were not conspiring to create a smear campaign against you.
Also, if he's going to say that there was a threat to take over the movie, then he has to provide something. He has to provide some kind of proof that she did that. And if through doing that, I just don't know how you can do that and then not bring in this like another third party like Sony. The problem is that Sony missing out of this is just an easy exploit for Blake Lively. Because it's just like you can just look at the jury and go, well, there were 3 parties involved here in major decisions. By the way, this isn't that uncommon, especially when she's already been emboldened as a producer. But movie stars have a lot of weight in the room, especially when it comes to things like marketing, especially when it comes to things. Now, they don't necessarily have a lot of weight in how marketing goes, but what they say, what they're willing to participate in and what they're not willing to participate in. Like that shit is like,
You're saying they get a say, but they don't get to make the final decision about how things go.
They're at the table. So there's 3, in this case, there's 3 major parties at the table, right? There's Baldoni, there's Lively, there's Sony. The 2 biggest people at the table are Baldoni and Sony. Those are the most powerful people at the table.
Yeah, because she's an employee.
All through this, through the whole, that doesn't make Blake Lively less potent. It doesn't make her less able, but it does on the sort of chart of hierarchy make her the 3rd banana, right? Number 1 top banana is Sony. Number 2 top banana is obviously Wayfair, and then Blake Lively as the big giant movie star, the pull. So it's just fucking goddamn nonsense.
So you're saying that in order to make her case, she's going to call Sony executives and producers.
It's a wrap.
As witnesses.
It's just a wrap.
And he's just going to have to be like, okay, well, their story against my story.
Did Justin Baldoni have final cut to Sony? No. Who had final cut? We did. Whose cut did you choose? Well, we chose the cut that Blake Lively oversaw. And remember, like what I just said for testimony is likely testimony. They're not going to likely call it her cut. They're going to say, well, it would have been
it's a studio cut.
It would have been or just the cut that Miss Lively was overseeing as a producer. They're going to treat her like a producer in the conversation, which is that she was just supervising the cut. So it's just like Sony's going to testify for her, and that's a wrap. Yeah. And they're not, and like, what are they going to say in cross? No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
This is what I'm asking. What is their defense? Because I know what their offense is, right? I know what claims he invented, and he tried to like make her out to be a bad person in all these really inventive, really creative ways. But I don't know how he's going to defend him. I haven't heard any coherent defense from her claims.
I mean, are they going to sit down and be like, okay, Sony executive, first of all, we don't even have their names still, but okay, are they going to pull Sony executive in?
Okay, like Ange Giannetti, who witnessed.
Right, she was the producer.
She was like the earliest Sony producer that was involved.
So if are they going to pull her in and they're going to be like, did Blake Lively say anything to you that, I mean, they're going to depose her, I would imagine, but if they don't, then she won't even take the stand. But if they depose her, they're going to try and find out if Blake Lively said anything that would have in any way affected Justin Baldoni's relationship with Sony. My guess is that she's going to say, no, that didn't happen. And I think they're going to get that.
Jamie Heath did that.
I think they're going to get that over and over again.
It affected their relationship with Wayfair.
Exactly. I think they're going to get that kind of pushback. I think they're going to be like, no. We started doubting Justin Baldoni's ability or Jamie Heath's or Wayfair's ability to deliver the movie. Probably about midway through. I'm just making shit up, of course, but probably about midway through when this started happening, that started happening, we started questioning whether or not they had the stability necessary to, pull this kind of thing off. It's fucking crazy, man.
Ronnie McGee is with us on YouTube.
What's up, Ronnie McGee?
Excuse me, on YouTube.
It makes me want to do some like culturally inappropriate. What do you call it? Cultural appropriation? Yeah. I'm about to appropriate.
Listen, would you say that both sides have presented receipts to support what each respective side claims happened?
Well, I would say that no, they haven't, because Justin Baldoni has lacked in almost every department when it comes to proof of anything. His claim is that she took control of the movie, and he hasn't proven any of that. As a matter of fact, what he proved, beyond any doubt in my mind, is that he lost control of the movie. He's literally got texts in his own argument saying, "I'm going to give Blake Lively 95% of what she wants." That is somebody losing control. That is literally losing control right there in the statement. He's in the statement. He is acquiescing to things he doesn't want. That is a loss of control immediately. And a producer worth their weight is not going to lose control of their movie, especially to somebody they don't necessarily trust to be capable of delivering what they need on the back end.
A completely different story from the evidence that Justin Baldoni's lawyer provided in the timeline and in all of his 400 pages of his lawsuit. I found it so different than the story that the lawyer was telling in the narrative. The story in the evidence is Justin Baldoni is continuously having conversations with his producers and his team about what he's supposed to do about whatever Lively situation he's dealing with at the moment. And they are always telling him, don't do this one thing. If you do this one thing, it could be bad. So our advice to you, Justin Baldoni, since you're the boss and you're going to do the thing, is to not do that thing. And then Justin Baldoni is like, okay, I'm just going to do the thing. And then he goes and he tells Blake Lively, okay, you can do the thing that I wasn't really sure about. But she's oblivious. He is completely just smoothed it over. Everything's fine. They're having a wonderful working relationship, according to her. That's what she's getting from him. And then he'll go back to his other producing partners or whoever it is that he's texting, and he'll complain more about some sort of conflict or some power struggle that he's invented between him and Lively. And I just feel like the entire time she's literally oblivious that there's any problem going on. She knows that she's got a problem with Jamie Heath because all of a sudden, for some reason, he doesn't want to give her any credit or even a letter of recommendation for the producing work that she is doing for free for his film. She's bringing assets to It Ends With Us. She is enriching their property. I
would argue that it wasn't for free. She has two things, because you keep mentioning that, and I don't think it's accurate. She has, first of all, she has a producer's credit, and that is considered compensation.
I'm saying she hasn't negotiated for any more compensation for the extra work that she's doing.
Well, again, I don't agree with you. She signed on as a producer when she signed her agreement, so that money included those services for sure.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. If I'm wrong about that. I still want to make the point that...
It's a good point. I'm just pointing that out because I just want people to I don't want people crying foul when there's no cry foul. There was a lot to gain for her being in a producer's role. She wanted that from the beginning. She negotiated an executive producer credit. Executive producers, as I've talked about on many occasions on this show, is almost like a shape-shifting producer credit. They can be almost any kind of producer in the spectrum of producers for film.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to upgrade to a regular producer credit, but she was well within the bounds of executive producer to do those things.
I'm saying she was definitely doing that for Jamie Heath. he definitely should have been trying to mentor her into the PGA. But that was a diversion from my point. My point was
I'm not talking about that either, but yes.
My point was that when you read the just the evidence and not Brian Friedman's narrative,
yes,
just the evidence that Justin Baldoni's side has provided, it tells a completely different story about how Justin Baldoni is completely ignoring good, sound advice from other producers that he has and that he's involved with, and he's always relinquishing control and then being spiteful against Blake Lively for him having done it. And you just can't charge somebody with a you can't just bring claims of a lawsuit, $400 million or something, because you gave somebody what they asked for.
Yeah, I mean,
had a very polite conversation doing it.
A great example of them losing control is Blake Lively comes and asks to be involved in the editing process. Jamie Heath says, well, let me talk to Justin about it, goes to Justin and advises Justin to not let her in. Says, in fact, if you do, she's never going to leave. And he was right. It's the exact same thing I would have said as a producer to my director, and I would have not allowed. I probably wouldn't even have had the conversation with my director. I would probably just taken Blake Lively inside and said, you can get involved after I've got a director's cut, but not until then. That's how I would have handled that. Blake Lively would not have been allowed in the editing room if I were the producer of this film at that moment.
Well, no,
100%,
because that's your thing.
I would never have let her in.
Yeah,
but I would have gladly accepted notes as soon as I got the director's cut. But until then, I'm going to protect my director as a producer. It's my job. Jamie Heath didn't do that. He instead gave Justin Baldoni the option. Justin Baldoni is a loose tooth, man. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing half the time. So the guy's like, oh, yeah, okay, just let her in, whatever. We'll just let her do it. Well, as soon as he did that, those floodgates that he was warned about by Jamie Heath were opened.
But then he resented her for it.
Exactly.
And then it's like all of this is...
That's a loss of control.
I know.
That's a loss of control.
He's just inventing problems for himself that don't need to exist. And then he's blaming her for having lost control of his own production.
No, the losing control is the same thing as stupid Leonardo DiCaprio saying that I turned a short into a fucking feature film. It's just some weak-ass legal argument that they want to try to make so that they can stand on 2 feet. But they're not standing on 2 feet. Or if they are, they're standing on fucking water and they're about to sink because they don't have anything here.
You're standing on 2 feet under the water.
Yeah, you might be on your 2 feet, but your 2 feet are on water.
You're at the bottom of the pool.
You're about to sink. You should already be sunk, actually, because you're standing on water.
You better stay out of the deep end.
It's rather instant. Yeah, look, I agree. My analogy stunk, but
it's cute.
The song remains the same, and that is that they've made this ridiculous argument as a means to make any kind of argument at all, but not for to actually win an argument, because they got an argument to win with. God, I'm fucking up all my sentences here. I don't know what happened. I swear I'm not drunk. I swear it.
We have very carb heavy meals right before
That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
I think there's a little bit of a sleepiness.
There are countless examples. There aren't countless. There are so many examples in all of the filings, including, and I think maybe even the majority of them come from the documents that they provided on the website, Brian Friedman, the documents Brian Friedman provided. And what was interesting about what you were saying is that when you take out Brian Friedman's statement, you said, and you just read the facts,
his narrative,
they tell a whole different story. Yeah. When you put his narrative back in, if you actually took out, when you put his narrative back in and you compare it to the actual facts, if you look at them both objectively, Brian Friedman is gaslighting. It's like in the purest form of gaslighting. He's literally in one of those paragraphs specifically saying that something isn't happening that is happening.
This is my favorite one.
He specifically says that Blake Lively is trying to impede or block the trailer when she's putting Taylor Swift on it. She's finished and approved the edit. The trailer's good to go. And all she wants is to get back in the editing room, and he wants to block her. He's the one holding hostages.
This is it. He literally says that she's holding the trailer hostage.
Yeah.
Right before the evidence that he's presenting to make that point.
So you're gonna share it with us.
Yeah. So Brian Friedman says Blake Lively is holding the trailer hostage, and literally the evidence says from the Sony exec, we've gotten Blake to approve the trailer.
It's the first fucking
There's
sentence.
literally nothing that he's saying that is true in any of his evidence. I find it amazing. He keeps saying that she is doing, like, she's extorting and making threats. And I'm like combing through this actual evidence. And I'm like, okay, well, where is that? Can you show me one time?
Not only did she say that Blake approved the trailer, but she also said that Blake got Taylor Swift attached.
Yeah, this is the whole message. Jamie, I have Redacted on here too. Redacted has gotten Blake to approve the trailer we want. The one with our narration, the chair kick, the bruise, etc.
The one we want.
The one we want. To Jamie Heath, right? The Sony executive. And Blake is calling Taylor to approve the song. She, of course, just reached out saying she's asking for time with Redacted, her editor. We know it was conditional on signing the contract, but we're asking you if you'll reconsider so Redacted can release this trailer, and Blake does not change her mind regarding calling Taylor Swift.
And it's interesting because everyone jumped on this idea of, well, look at that, she's going to like leverage this thing. I can't.
That's not coming from her. That's coming from the Sony executive.
That's coming from Sony.
Who is like, listen, we really want her to go through with this. Let's not do anything to rock the boat so that she does. Literally nothing in here is saying that Blake Lively is saying any of these things are in jeopardy. She is working on making it happen. She just wants this one thing. This is just like an update. This Sony executive is just giving Jamie Heath an update.
It's probably because Sony knows, or the Sony executive knows, that how rare this opportunity is, where Blake Lively knows the biggest pop star in the fucking world and can potentially have this person attach a song that is otherwise ungettable. I've talked about it before. Let me mention it again because it's worth mentioning. Taylor Swift is at that level where she doesn't fucking let her music just go for money. Money doesn't matter to her. Money is not the issue. So her music, where it appears in pop culture, whether that's movies or ads or whatever, is going to be very important to her. And she's in this upper echelon of artists where they very rarely ever let their music go. It's extremely rare.
Like on a soundtrack.
On a soundtrack or in an ad or anything like that. Just think of how long it took the Beatles to get on board with digital alone. Remember when Apple finally announced that they finally got them on iTunes and it was like this miracle? Yeah. Because they're in that upper echelon and they have that much control, and they also have that much fuck you money where they're just like, I will do what I want in this situation. I don't care about your opinion. So so it's perfectly natural for an executive to think for a minute, oh, fuck, dude, don't piss this off. Because it's also perfectly natural for them to think, what's stopping her from being, you know what, fuck this is a bad scene, and I'm not going to put one of my best friends, who also happens to be the biggest fucking pop star in the world, who's doing me the biggest favor, literally millions upon millions and billions of dollars worth of favors right now. And you know what? Maybe this isn't fucking worth it. Maybe this guy's an asshole. Yeah, maybe I call up Taylor and I say, Taylor, don't.
This Sony executive is like,
we'll get Avril Lavigne. She's looking for an opportunity.
The Sony executive is basically like, yo, Jamie Heath, like, you've been coming in hot with this whole, like, demanding a signature on the thing. Like, everything's going real smoothly, and if you just could wait a minute until we finalize some of these things, that would be real great.
It's so funny because, like, that whole thing is just, like, exactly what it's like to be a manager. It's what it's like to be a producer. It's, like, what it's like to be an agent. It's just this constant, like, oh, shit, no, don't piss this one off. And it's like,
this person wants this.
Pleasing everybody. Like, you got to please everybody, you know?
So Jamie Heath is like, I'm available to talk on the phone. Call me if you're free. Doesn't address anything that was said, is only like, we need to talk.
And then evidently they spoke.
Evidently they spoke, and now there's a different Sony executive. This is a Sony marketing executive who comes back.
Now listen to this shit and figure out where this is going, because this isn't people getting pissed at Blake Lively here.
No, this is directed at Jamie Heath.
Yes.
At Wayfair.
Right.
You guys don't want to play ball. You're going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. Good luck. This is only if you want to make this date. We're going to need to finish the director's cut, and we can have multiple previews down the road. Finish the director's cut. I love that they use that term too. Yeah, he's like, you work on your shit. We're going to work with Blake Lively. I don't want you talking to Blake Lively is what this says. Yeah. You're going to fucking sit on your hands. You're going to finish your director's cut. We're going to keep working on our studio cut. Good luck. And let me tell you, that is the sharpest of daggers. You are going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. You guys don't want to play ball. Good luck. You guys don't want to play ball. Good luck. It's just... That's not Blake Lively doing this. No. This is Jamie Heath doing this. This is all losing control. At what point are we going to admit that they lost control of their film? And Blake Lively has nothing to... She's just being scapegoated. Somebody had to gain control of the film, and it just so happens that we had an ambitious player in Blake Lively who wanted
the role of producer anyway. She just wanted to be a co-producer. She just wanted to be a part of it. You know, she wasn't looking to take over anything. It just so happens that those guys don't have any legs. They just didn't know how to handle the studio level film. And it's just so obvious. And then they also don't know how to run a business. They don't know how to run a simple business. Oddly enough, their Sarowitz billionaire friend there, he got all of his money in HR, but somehow they had no ability to process a simple SH complaint. And I just want to emphasize for anybody who doesn't understand this, SH complaints are not that big of a deal necessarily. They can be, of course, depending on the degree, but typically they can be as simple as just overhearing somebody say something to another person, somebody acts a specific way and somebody finds it offensive.
Yeah, it's not always a crime.
It just can be a mistake, it can be a bad moment, it can be any number of things, and usually these things are handled by simply filing it and then having the item addressed, usually in a meeting with the offender, saying, "Hey, we've had this complaint. Please take steps to remedy this." Now, if you are both judge and jury in this situation, then it's up to them, and even more so, really, to replace that confidence that was lost immediately in their ability to not only manage the production, but to do so fairly and safely for everybody. So as soon as that accusation hit, they needed to take immediate action to not only rectify the problem, but to make everybody clear that they're there to do that they're capable of doing that. And by everybody, I mean even talking about Sony. Part of what we see when we look at the evidence is that they slowly lose the confidence of Sony, while Blake Lively slowly gains the confidence of Sony.
Yeah, I think Jamie Heath is responsible for losing Sony's confidence.
That's right.
And creating this rift where before long, you know, like Sony is already starting to be the middleman between Blake Lively and Jamie Heath.
Correct.
And then eventually she won't talk with him at all. He tries to get her on the phone and she's like, "You can put everything you need to say to me in writing."
Because the writing is placed on the wall because he's so obstructive, right? Like he wanted to get in the way of Sony's marketing plan and in their face about it. He was just he didn't play ball. He didn't play ball with Blake. He didn't play ball with Sony.
You're talking about Baldoni now.
Yeah.
I was talking about Jamie Heath.
Well, I'm talking about Wayfarer.
Yeah.
Right? You can be again from Sony's perspective, they're going to look at it as a whole. They're going to look at Wayfarer as a whole. You know, because in the end, that's who they're doing business with. That's who they're ultimately in bed with, right?
I had to laugh because when you said they're standing on their own 2 feet, or they're standing on 2 legs, was my
horrible analogy that just blew up in my face? Yeah.
Oh no! I thought that was funny. I mean, I thought it was fine. I don't think you were even joking, but it just reminded me of Timmy Two Toes. Timmy
Two Toes, man. Watch out for him.
You gotta watch out for him. Why? Because he's not good with an axe. Tay,
I want you to meet Timmy Two Toes.
This is my friend Timothy, and he gives her like a stern look, like don't laugh.
I
told you he's called Timmy Two Toes in secret, and you're not supposed to say.
I've only introduced 2 women to Timmy Two Toes. My mom and you. If Timmy Two Toes,
she's gonna write a song about it being like, and that's when I knew. That's when I knew that he'd chosen me as the one. Because he introduced me to Timmy Two Toes.
He's trying to get a toes up from Timmy Two Toes. What do you say, Timmy? 2 toes up or what? Or 2 toes down?
2 toes up.
What do you think?
Maria Tani has a question.
Okay.
This is an interesting point. Wouldn't more people come out from the crew that helps Blake's side that he did what he did and they saw it happen, or she mentioned it to someone or tried to stop that from happening at that moment? I think it's really important to recognize that these people probably are coming forward, and it could be that they're witnesses in the trial.
Well, again, she doesn't have to have a bunch of witnesses to feel harassed. So the real issue around all of this, because again, everybody wants to build legitimacy around her claim or illegitimacy around her claim, and there is no such a thing.
About misconduct on the set.
She can file a complaint, and then they have to conduct an investigation if they think that the complaint is worthy of an investigation, or otherwise, take whatever action that they already need to take. So if somebody comes and makes a complaint, it's a complaint. They have to fucking investigate. They have to bring in the other party, and they have to have the conversation, and they have to decide whether or not you know, there's the complaint is warranted, and then what action to take.
What this discovery phase is too. I mean, that's what I was saying. It's like Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, has really muddied the water by making everybody think that we have all of the evidence available to us. But Blake Lively's side hasn't been speaking at all. We don't know what witnesses they have. We don't know what support she has from the crew and her her fellow cast members. We don't know any of that because they're trying to make a case for a court. They're not trying to make a case for all of us.
Right.
So it's like you just assume that she doesn't have a bunch of cast members who are going to speak on her side. Maybe she does. Maybe she does, and they're all witnesses, and they're going to get deposed, and it's going to be relevant for the trial. I don't know.
But I just want to point out that she doesn't need it. Like, it's just not necessary because this trial is really based about, hey, I made a complaint, and it doesn't matter whether or not the complaint is warranted in anybody's view. Because complaints are complaints. They get lodged. They go through a process. What she's saying is that after I lodged the complaint, there was retaliation. And that is the trouble here. Yeah. The trouble isn't that she made a complaint or whether or not her complaint is warranted or has any legs. It doesn't fucking matter. This is why people are completely confused by this. Sure, if she's able to prove sexual harassment, it's going to help her in her litigation. But all she has to prove is retaliation to win this thing. That's all she has to prove. And it's entirely possible, if not probable, that she's going to be able to pull that off, particularly after the shenanigans by their own attorney. MP says if Blake wanted a PGA credit, her husband should just produce all of her movies. I've met her in person, and she is not pleasant. Well, I got to tell you that I've met a lot of people on bad days.
How does she get a PGA credit if her husband is producing all of her movies? What?
I've met people on bad days. You know, I can't possibly, and I hope nobody else will, MP, and I don't mean this in any way as an offense to you, but I hope nobody takes your fucking word for it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so you didn't like her. So what? I was talking to fucking Andy Signor, who's a fucking complete fucking lunatic about all this, and I was talking to him about it and about his crazy antics about going to her character's house, Lily Bloom's house, and he got all crazy about, yeah, you know what the owner said about Blake Lively? Didn't like her. I was like, the fuck has that got to do with anything?
On what planet?
Who the hell?
Is that relevant information?
Who the hell cares whether a guy or a family who's renting their house to a fucking movie set likes the movie star that they just met?
It's adorable.
It doesn't matter whether or not you like her or not. It doesn't matter whether or not I like her. I don't really have an opinion on her. And honestly, when this thing started, although my opinion has swayed more in her favor after all of this than it did when it started. When this thing started, I was completely neutral on Blake Lively in general. And would probably say she's more likely than not capable of some of the things that she was accused of just because of her status. She was Leo's ex, so she's got a strike on her on that for me, you know. So there's all these like potential issues that I had with her. But as the case and the evidence started to reveal itself, I realized that maybe something more important is happening here. That this isn't just about Blake Lively, that this is about really the industry and the way in which the industry treats women. And this is just another blatant example of it. But as far as SH goes, man, I don't care if they prove it or they don't prove it. It's all about proving retaliation. She can make any claim she wants, and it doesn't even matter if it's credible. It's a complaint, bro.
What was he retaliating for?
Right.
Everybody's saying he was defending himself, but he was starting to defend himself, right? If you think it's a defense, he was starting to do that before she ever filed that CRD complaint. So what was he defending himself against if it wasn't some retaliation for her complaint sunset? Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of incoherent. I'm not really sure I understand whether anybody that's defending him recognizes that there's a timeline.
The questions are, was there a complaint filed? If the answer is yes, then the next question is, did they retaliate?
Did they address the complaint?
Well,
you know,
that'll be certainly. I mean, I'm just saying the main focus questions are those two questions. Did they retaliate?
And I want to know what the good reason is for him ever sending his publicists, we would need a story like this, and it's about a different celebrity in a different. Yeah,
Hailey Bieber says, you know, this is about women bullying women. So
what's the good reason why he sent that to those people?
Exactly. It's all bad.
He said we would need something like this. I'm sorry, but that's not defense. That's not self-defense.
And you know what's interesting about it was like Blake Lively got called out for what was ultimately her honestly separating from her interests with Baldoni prior to the release of the film. Whether it was a wise decision or not, right? She was like basically being forthright in that I'm not down with this fucking guy. This guy's bad news and I'm not down with him. Meanwhile, this guy, Justin Baldoni, was behind her back at that very moment, plotting against her with PR at that very moment, and at the same time talking out of the other side of his mouth on the red carpet, praising her for all of the incredible work that she brought behind the camera, how she saved his ass on numerous occasions when he was too wrapped up in his character to be an effective director. He said Blake Lively was his fucking crutch. He said Blake Lively is... There's a moment in time, he says this voluntarily. Nobody asked him to fucking say this. On the red carpet, in his interview, he said that he says to the interviewer, Blake Lively's going to direct. And she's like, what? That's what's going to happen. She's ready. She's going to direct. Is it fucking Justin Baldoni is the fucking guy with the black belt here, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, why did he say that? Why is he talking out of both sides of his mouth? How is it out of one side of his mouth, he's standing on the red carpet praising her? She wasn't fucking praising Justin Baldoni. You know?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that at that moment he knows that he's going to claim that she took over the movie? Or do you think that that came later after she sued him?
No, I think it's something that he had believed happened. See, what happens with these lay down dudes is that they allow themselves to get walked all over and then blame everybody else for doing it.
He literally gives her permission to do the thing he doesn't want her to do and then blames her for it. She's asking. She cannot do these things on her own. She literally has to ask Justin Baldoni or ask the producers or ask Sony, right? Has to ask Wayfair or Sony or Justin Baldoni directly. Can I have this thing? I have to ask you because I don't have the power to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then he literally gives her the thing and then sues her for it.
Yeah, I wish we had it's fucking insane.
Reasonable. What do you wish we had?
It's Timothy Two Toes.
You wish we had Timothy Two Toes? Me too. Me too, babe.
The legend of Timmy Two Toes. Travis Kelce's
is the culprit.
Huh?
Guilty. Timmy Two Toes is the culprit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, look, it's all about retaliation. I think she's going to be able to prove retaliation fairly comfortably. I think it's all over their actions throughout every phase of this process, from pre-filing through till this last motion that they lost. And they keep fucking losing. So unless somebody comes forward with like audio.
Oh, morale must be horrible.
Like audio, they got to come up with audio. Like they need they need audio of Blake Lively saying like
Inspiring.
To Ryan Reynolds in a phone call that got intercepted, and they're like, oh, you know, we're just gonna ride this thing, and you know,
bro, don't give Andy Singer any ideas.
Like fucking Ryan Reynolds saying, I feel kind of bad. I mean, I know we're totally destroying this guy's life for something he didn't do. Like they need that.
Don't give anybody any ideas because they're just gonna like deep fake that shit.
They're not gonna get. Well, they're just not gonna be. They're gonna deep faking. You can prove. They can prove. It won't. But you're right in that if they do these kinds of things, they'll fucking change people's minds and make people crazy. Let me tell you something, man. We're going to do this episode. We're excited about it. It's kind of written and ready to go. I'm actually just working through some final picture problems because we want to start producing some of the premium content that we promised. We want to do a Blake Lively a whole Blake Lively update on all, and like sort of recap. And one of the things I want to get into, and I can't wait to get into, and so here's a preview on it, is the Horny Growl tape. This is the tape where they're slow dancing, and the Baldoni supporters are all out there still talking about how this is evidence that proves that he was just doing everything that he should be doing as a director, and that her claims of SH, which she outlined in her complaint with the Civil Rights Center and with her subsequent lawsuit, right? That, you know, this exoneration, this tape of an exoneration. And there's a horny growl on this tape that is so that it's low. You can't really hear it.
It's the smoking pew pew.
It's the smoking pew pew, bro.
See it.
There's a horny growl.
Here's the thing. Here's what happened. I posted the video, right, that has the audio where you can hear what he's saying. And then somebody immediately reposted or like replied to me and said, You're tripping, you can't hear it. And didn't use my file to make the point. They used some other content creator's file, but he was basically screen sharing And so his audio was all compressed and weird, and you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
So I found the video file that Wayfarer had sent directly to the Daily Mail, and Entertainment Tonight is running it, and all of these other tabloids. And so that's the file that we're using, the one that came directly from Wayfarer to all of these, these tabloid media.
So there's a horny growl on there that is sexual harassment.
They're pretending like it doesn't exist, and they're trying to make their point using compressed audio that doesn't show it.
So there's a horny growl on there that is sexual harassment. There is a growl on there that, even if she doesn't cite it specifically, could give her the overall feeling of being harassed or being made to feel uncomfortable in a sexual. It is
squirm.
It makes me awful, because we all know what it is. You don't make that girl, as it's an MOS scene, and he's not in character, people. You guys want to say he's in character, but he's not in fucking character. He's talking about everything but Ryle, quite frankly.
It would have to be the only thing he ever does in character, and it's a horny growl.
Right, the only thing he does in character is
he utters
horny growl after he spins her around, dudes.
And pulls her close to him.
And pulls her close to him.
She can hear that right in her face.
It's gnarly.
It's horrible.
It's fucking gnarly.
So I'm excited because you're gonna edit it, and you're gonna like do the replay.
Yeah, we're gonna
Like
do.
the remix.
We're gonna actually do about. There's probably about 5 episodes that we're planning right now that are gonna be a total breakdown of all the evidence that we know exists.
Somebody's got to fill the gap. I mean, the space. All of these other people with their the Baldoni fans are all just losing, so they don't have anything to talk about.
I also just want to get, like, our YouTube channel has had this. We've been doing this on TikTok since this case started, but we've only been at it a couple months. By the way, we're gonna hit episode 50 this week on YouTube.
How do you want to celebrate?
I don't know. Get party hats or something.
Wear party hats.
We get some party hats.
Streamers.
Episode 50, Angela, you and me. God, do you remember when we were kids and we started this thing? Huh? Remember that? Me with my
when Timmy Two Toes was just this
brown
high.
beard. Timmy Two Toes. He had all of his toes at that point.
He was just this high.
He was just this high with 10 toes.
All right, are we going?
Well, let's do some last questions on both platforms, and then we'll pack it up. You guys are fucking awesome, every one of you.
I love everybody.
You guys are so great, man. I have such a good time all the time with you guys. And thanks to all the new folks here. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe and do all the things that you can do to help us, because we do want to be very successful at this, because we think we have a good time here with you guys. And so if you'd like us to keep having a good time with you, your likes and subscriptions will help us do that. And on TikTok, you can like and follow, and we appreciate you so much.
Interesting. Okay, Delicate said that Sony executive will say what Jamie said in the phone call if they get deposed.
Yeah.
She also doesn't need to give the GP. What's GP? General public. She also doesn't need to give the general public all the evidence, Blake Lively. That's just the entitlement our society constantly displays.
Right. That's exactly true. And the whole point is that you give these, like, sort of tent poles of evidence to say, hey, this is our case, and then you go and you obviously build support around that.
Yeah, because why would you telegraph to the opposing side exactly what you're planning on hammering them with?
Well, they know anyway through discovery, but right. When you go to trial, it's basically rehearsed. Like
they're not going to spend a single second informing Brian Friedman about what he's supposed to say in the next press tour. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell him.
No, exactly. They're definitely not going to add that kind of fuel. No way.
Guilty Angel said, Dale and Angela and chat, you guys rock.
You guys are so fucking awesome. Thank you so much, Guilty Angel. All right, everyone, listen. Tomorrow we're gonna see what she wins tomorrow. I think she wins the lottery. I think they're like, we're so rich, let's just go buy lottery tickets just to spite everybody. Just to prove to everyone that it's real, that people do win it.
That's funny.
She'll just go and she'll like be walking down past, just in Manhattan, walking by one of them newsstands. She'll be like, yeah, give me one lottery ticket, And then she'll
really
win.
Interesting. Since Jupiter entered Blake Lively's 12th house, she has been winning constantly. And sometimes that's challenging for people. Sometimes it's like they're like hard won wins, rewards.
Hard fought.
But she's just been getting like one after another after another. That placement's gonna continue for a year. So I think she's gonna do really, really well and continue to.
Don't trust the internet, says Delicate. I think she's also about showing the public how social media manipulation works. Well, I think so. What I love about what Delicate is saying is that because it gets bigger than that, right? It's really about the PR machine.
Yeah.
Because it's also like social media has, it's interesting because to one extent it is social media, but it's more about how these influencers are being bought.
Yeah, they called it a social combat plan.
Yeah, social combat plan.
Can we not do that anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe that needs to be exposed. Maybe we need to figure out what exactly is behind all of this. Are we all being socially combated?
Yeah, it's not dissimilar to campaigning for on behalf of political candidates. Like it's like going door to door and screaming fallacies about people ruining their life and reputation for the purpose of creating this public sway of opinion on your otherwise presumed guilty.
I know it used to be all these like political scandals and like these stories of like palace intrigue or whatever. And now it's all just, you know how like filmmaking has become more accessible because everybody has a camera in their pocket?
Yeah.
Well, now like that kind of like political like fixer type stuff has become more accessible to just everybody can just do it for their celebrities.
Yeah.
Like it's not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be able to manipulate the press that easily.
I want to thank the people who hang out with us on a regular basis and give us such cool things to be entertained by. I really enjoyed these movies and these series that you guys exposed us to. We're going to watch Pearl. I did watch the opening and I really liked it. So I'm excited for it, even if it's a little bit odd at first. So if you guys have other suggestions, please tell us what they are because we'd love to watch them. I have another one for you. And it is The Righteous Gemstones. If you haven't seen this series, it's Danny McBride on HBO Max. First of all, just like serious warning about the content. Lots of full frontal nudity on men. Like lots of dicks. They're everywhere.
I think the whole point is that it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be a parody of American evangelism. Evangelism,
correct.
Sorry.
Evangelicalites.
It's supposed to be a parody of American evangelism.
Yes.
And so of course it has to have like so much homosexual innuendo.
Like loads and loads of it. And the final season is like sort of the rougher side of things, but it's worth every minute of it. I highly recommend it. I really think Danny McBride might be a genius. I think that he is like I like the subtleties at which he's like attacking the church, attacking people in the church,
pointing out all the stereotypes.
Yeah, hitting the stereotypes without missing out on the things that are, empathetically important in that world and in his situation and relating those to us in that way. I just loved it. It's remarkable. I highly recommend it. You can watch that shit on HBO Max. It's called The Righteous Gemstones. And I highly recommend it. I think season 3, one of the best seasons in a comedy I've ever seen in my life. It was so crazy. I can't even describe for you the joy that season brought me, but it was immense. And I ate so much popcorn, lots of popcorn. I had bowls of this stuff. You guys are always so wonderful to be around and always inspirational to talk to. So thank you so much. I'm going to improve Angela's light. Angela, you weren't in the best light tonight. So
I like it. I think it suits me fine.
I'm going to fix it in post. You guys are wonderful. We will see you tomorrow again at 7 p.m. Again, if you haven't liked or subscribed, I hope you will. But if you don't, just come back and hang out with us because that matters most to us. Yep. Have a great night, guys. Good night, Angela.
Good night.